Hello everyone, Nanoka here. So on screen you can see everyone's favorite Alicesoft gameplay Kusoge game, Daiteikoku. Yes, after like 2 decades, it's finally been picked up for localization. Can you believe it? It made me feel very nostalgic. So I decided to reinstall it, and since I'm doing that, I figured I might as well showcase a feature of the game. So this is a partial fan translation English build of the game that I'm using because it's the easiest I had access to. The actual English release is going to be out in about 6 years time, give or take. So around the same time as SRWBF. Anyway, Daiteikoku is one of Alicesoft game. I think it's one of the first with a built-in mod feature where you can create your own custom emeralds like in Run's Quest. So let me just go to this screen and open up. And you can see our two custom emeralds here. This is fried rice day grows from AzurLane. Yes, if you are German, you can tell me how terribly I have butchered that name. And the other one is Marisa from Toho. And yep, you can see I did a great transparency cleanup job here. And let's go back to this. So this girl is from AzurLane. It's a World War II ship girl waifu gacha game that has been invented since Daiteikoku was released. So I think once the game comes out in English, there's probably going to be a lot of admirals, custom admirals from this game because it's pretty fitting, I think. So I think most people have not played Daiteikoku, so I'll just explain some of the gameplay mechanics to make it easier to understand. And so each commander has up to 4 ship slots, which you can insert ships into, and each slot has a bonus, as you can see. I don't have to explain what HP is, and missiles is a kind of attack. And let me switch over to a different commander to make it more easier to understand. This guy. So this guy is the Jagan of the game. So there's 3 kinds of attack: lasers, missiles, and cannons. You can see this ship on the right here. It has lasers, and the stat bonus will change what your final stats. They'll modify the base stats. So you can see that this originally has 30 laser damage, and he has laser plus 20%. So the final bonus is 36%. So you can see that this guy has like 20s in all stats, and he's one of the stronger early game characters. Most characters have much worse stats than this. If you look at our custom admiral, it seems like he has a very high value. 80, 60, 40 is nearly 3 times or double. But actually there's some limitations in that, like missiles, for example, is not a very good, it's a pretty niche attack type. Lasers are one of the most common, so, and lasers tend to be faster. So this looks high, but is actually not as strong as it looks. Back when Daiteikoku was still current, I think there were a lot of custom emeralds that were very overpowered. They were like plus 100 to all stats, and I think that's I mean, okay, it's fun to stomp enemies wall, but I would rather have a more interesting. I try to make a more balanced at most, I hope. So there's other limiting factors to this. For one thing, you will notice that her 4th slot is locked. You can only put 3 ships total. So it's actually a pretty big disadvantage. Most admirals have 4 slots, and even just having 1 down is kind of a big disadvantage. But at least you will get a lot of value out of your slots, I suppose. And let's take a look at the other character now, Marisa. As you can see, she's even more limited. There's only 2 slots here. But the first one is laser plus 90, which is very high. But there is a second limiting factor, which is this You can see this 225 number over here. So this is the Admiral's command points, and each ship has its own command cost, and you cannot exceed your commander's command cost. So you can see the number here is 225. The different kind of ship, battleships, cruisers, destroyers, from the size of the biggest to the smallest. So with 225, battleships is 180. So it's just enough for one battleship and one destroyer, which is the smallest. And as you can see, it's a bit of a limited stats, but there's another advantage. She has this special ability. It's called Magical Girl. Gain 30% attack, but damage taken plus 30% during invasion, which is most of the game. So she's a bit of a glass cannon. That's another thing you can do. So when you start a new game plus, custom emeralds can only be used in new game plus, in case you weren't aware. You get these special animal ships, and some of them are really good for really filling out your custom emeralds. I like to use this. I call this Red Whooper. Exactly 225. You see, it's planned, but it makes her a super glass cannon. Like, take a look at this. It's 600 laser attack. That's a very high amount in early game. So, and let's go and fill out fried rice. Let's see. Missile. Do we start? Normally you don't start with any missile ship, but there's animals with missiles. So let's take a quick look. This seahorse. Okay, so look, it has 210, and we are getting like 336 out of it. That's nice. And let's see. I think we can. Oops, not this one. Let's give her a battleship, and look, we are getting a lot of HP out of it. And the final thing is a radar. So this is a radar ship. Radar determines how fast you are to act in battle. So this is a pretty good tanky build, I guess. Not the highest damage, but it is 2 damage type. When she has this ability, when damage taken reduced by 50%. This description is a bit misleading because it only activates when you have taken at least 1 damage, and some enemies will just one-shot you straight from the beginning. So it's good against people who try to cheap damage you because you'll make them regret it by doubling your HP. But if you're fighting the one-shot kill kind of build, you don't want to use this. Alright, so we filled up our commanders, and I'm going to do one battle, and you can see how the battle system works. And I'm going to send our custom commanders over. Yep, the boat is and we need more than 2 people because there's definitely a lot more than 2 commanders in the battlefield. So let's just send, like, you can send a maximum of 8 people in the battle. So let's just send everyone. Everyone useful, I guess. Oops, I forgot to assign a ship to Dragon here. Let's build some battleships, I guess. This guy is very strong. Cruisers. Oops, I ran out of money. We wasted a lot, but that's good enough. Alright. So once you have sent all your men here, you will press this. This means phase end, and you'll start the combat. Combat phase. Story. Whatever. Let's skip this. So the objective is that you need to fill up you need to collect stars by destroying the units. You'll fill this bar at the bottom. You need to have at least stars in the yellow boxes, or you will lose when they try to take the territory. So you can compare your your commanders with their commanders there. This is the main character and he's overpowered as hell. Anyone with him will probably win the battle. I forgot to give this girl weapons. Oops. So let's just pick stuff. And actually our commanders are very strong. So let's showcase our commanders. If you can do the calculation, this girl will kill both of them with both of her attacks. Let's send her alone. I know I just sent 9 persons here, but I'm just going to use a small amount. That's very funny of me, right? So let's do like this. These are strongest commanders. This enemy has a very high hit points. If we are lucky, Marisa will not get an attack and she can just one-shot them with a 627 laser. Although I think our other commanders will kill them earlier, so let's do this. Let's handicap ourselves. Alright, let's start. Alright. Yep, so fire, die. Oh, it's the big zap. Alright, and missiles. Boom. Complete overkill. He only had like 96 hit points. This is like the tutorial fight. Sorry I'm skipping the story, but you know. You guys can read it when it comes out in English. So the main character provides like a plus 10% bonus. It's really overpowered. And great, my decoy commander got hit, so Marisa will be left to kill. And I think this is a goddamn joke too. Alright, this guy, main character will kill him. And yep, Marisa gets to kill 120 hit points. And look at all the modifiers. So actually she does more than 600 damage. That's pretty good, right? But if she get hit, she's gonna die with that like 15 hit points. So it's a bit luck based, I guess. So yes, as you can see, we collected all the stars. So we can send our... what do you call that? Carrier ships? To take over the territory. And you see that we can get some EXP. We didn't let up. And so yeah, after you win, you get to construct a building. And that's it for the showcase. So I'm gonna put them up on my Patreon. You can download these commanders on my Patreon. You have to be using the English fan translation version because it has English text. It won't work on the original Japanese version, and I bet that it probably won't work on the actual English release 5 or 6 years later once it's done. But at that point, with Olaf hasn't used his superpower yet, I will just remake the commanders and release it for the English version. Yeah, so I hope you like this video. Look forward to this game. I mean, it's actually not a it's actually kind of a Kuso game, but I know some of you are looking forward to this for some reason, and have fun with it. Please stay tuned for more videos and so on and so forth. Thank you. Please rate 5 and subscribe to my Patreon and all the things you're supposed to say at the end of the video. And this is Nanoka, and goodbye.